the Patterson-Gimlin site with Tom, and he ran out of Bigfoot songs, and this might be a surprise to you. Tom knows a couple Jewel numbers. Just when I thought it couldn't get fucking weirder, Tom started singing Jewel at Louse Camp, which is, Louse Camp is where you stay if you're going to go to the PG site, but it's, you know, I was hoping that it was named after like a Jebediah louse. No, it's named after lice. It's Lice Camp. I guess the lumberjacks had a louse problem. So, first of all, spoiler alert, I'm Bigfoot. I actually I have a question for you. When you watch the movie, what makes you cringe? What's the part where you go, you know, that's a little too bullshit? I mean, outside of the naked woman in the middle of the forest.
Well, yeah, that's kind of a dead giveaway. I don't think there's enough naked women in the middle of the forest for the amount of time I spend out there. But when I listen to it, I'm thinking, oh, that's Robert Leiderman. That's what I hear. I hear Robert's calls. He's, that's Robert Leiderman, a ranger down in Grizzly Creek State Redwood Park, who's a Bigfoot aficionado and is a good friend of mine. So.
Yeah, so you can recognize his call?
Absolutely.
You know what's making me laugh when I was out there the other recently? Tom would go, he'd go, first of all, we put bacon on the fire.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Bigfoot likes bacon. You know what else likes bacon? Bears.
Yeah.
Turns out bears love bacon too. We saw 2 mountain lions when we were making this movie.
And that's phenomenal,
that's
because to this day, 20-something years doing Bigfoot stuff, and the rest of my life in the woods, I've only seen 2 mountain lions.
Yeah, well, we saw 2. It wasn't the same one, because it was 2 different areas, but the scene in the tent, that's 19 minutes long. Bryce, who plays Jim, we saw the mountain lion, and then we shot that scene, and it was about, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, he started crying the first time we did it, and I said, you know, your character wouldn't cry. He goes, I'm not in character, and he goes, man, you know, we could just film this in the parking lot of a hotel. It's inside a tent, man. It's a true story. I'm sure he's not happy that I'm making him out to be such a puss, but, so that, the vocalization.
Well, you know, what really grabs me, particularly about that long scene at the end, is that what it's really, that is exactly what it's really like. When the Bigfoots are around, and yeah, I don't care if you believe it or not, they're real. I've seen them, I know they're real, I don't need to convince anybody. They are out there, and when you're inside of a tent, and they come cruising around, you do hear knocks, sometimes from different directions, and I feel that you did an excellent job kind of capturing that sort of angst and anxiousness, and it's a phenomenal scene and very, very real to at least my life. You know?
Thanks. You know, one of the things is the movie's going to be released, and 90% of the audio is just live, you know, and part of releasing the film, it has to be a professional audio mix and surround sound, and I'm really nervous that they're gonna, you know, I'll make sure, but they, you know, I mean, they're gonna split those sounds, and I love how ghetto it is. It really is us, you know, in a big circle, slowly creeping in on them, and I just hope that doesn't go away. I don't know why I'm telling you guys that, but that's one of the things I'm concerned with, is that the movie will become too professional.
I don't need to worry about that.
Okay, good, yeah, I have a certain level. Do you guys have any questions? Hi.
Hey, did you have like a pre-existing interest in Bigfoot long-standing, or was it just a, did you just think it would be like an interesting
place? Yeah.
Story?
He asked if I had a pre-existing interest in Bigfoot before I made the movie, or if it was just something I thought would be an interesting thing to make a movie. And yeah, I've always, ever since I was a kid, I was fascinated with the Patterson-Gimlin footage. In fact, it wasn't even the footage. I remember, you probably know what magazine I saw a picture of.
That was Argosy magazine.
And I saw that picture, I think it was like a bunch of stills of it, right? And I was just fascinated with that. So ever since I was a kid, So I took like a 1,400-mile drive around California going to various Bigfoot places, and when I got to Willow Creek, initially I thought I would do a more of a Christopher Guest movie, and you know what I mean, like it would have been a conference, but then when I got there I just thought, well, this lends itself to this kind of movie, and also, I honestly, and I would say this even if you weren't there, weren't here, the you know, as far as subgroups of enthusiasm, Bigfoot people are already picked upon. I didn't think I really needed to do a comedy taking them down, you know. So as far as people's tolerance or understanding, it really is like Ren Fair people, then Star Trek people, then Al Qaeda, and then Bigfoot people, as far as people cutting them slack. So I didn't really think they needed me to dogpile on.
We're under Al Qaeda. That's good.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, it depends which way you're looking at my chart. Yeah. So as a kid, I was fascinated. I always had a soft spot, and this gave me a chance to go and be there myself. So that was really part of it. Hi.
Yeah, I just, prior to this film, I hated found footage films. The Blair Witch I thought was bullshit, and then before that, I liked the Lost Broadcast, but I want to let you know, this movie is supreme. All those films are far superior than those prior films.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, thanks. You know, I just tried to make a found footage movie. I think the few things I hopefully did, I think the relationship with the actors, their relationship seems a little more believable, and you know, those actors are just really great actors, so it's great to have them. My wife says they're just playing better looking versions of us. Which is true. You know, we were talking about that woman in the woods. To make her look dirty, I bought cocoa and chocolate and just things in the supermarket, you know, that went on the main drag there in Willow Creek. What is it? Rays.
You want to get so many bears in camp.
Yeah, so that was it. It says I put chocolate and cinnamon on this woman, and then I was like, I just made her a bear cruller, man. She's a bear donut. And then after we filmed the scene, she goes, well, that's off my bucket list. And I'm like, what is your bucket list? You know, that is a pretty nutty bucket list. Anybody in the back? Oh, here we go. Hi. Why wasn't she hairy? Well, she's the woman at the very beginning of the movie where they say she looks too happy to be missing. So now there is Native people tell stories of Sasquatch stealing women for concubines, and that's you can walk away with whatever you want. It could be those people telling them to go away and stuff like that, but because that's the other thing, is what makes it a little dangerous is the pot growers that is one thing that is dangerous in that area. They're no longer like Cheech and Chong stereotypes. They're guys with AK-47s. So that does happen. Someone just recently possibly fell under some bad people. But hey, good times. But way to bring them down, Bob Scratch. Yeah, that's it. Question? Hi.
First off, fuck you very much for that whole tent scene. Tent campers, you fucked us up.
Yeah.
And every tent scene that we've ever had in our lives is exactly that. We spent 2 weeks up in the Canadian Rockies, and every interaction was like that. What the fuck is that? So that is horrible and accurate. Thank you very much.
Oh, to the screening. No, I was afraid that Bigfoot was going to come up while I was filming it because I wouldn't even turn the cameras on because it'd be, it'd be like, hey, Bobcat Goldthwait found Bigfoot. Did he really? What I mean? I was worried about that. And then the other thing I was, when we were sneaking in on the tent, I was thinking, it did strike me, that the irony of me being mauled to death by a bobcat wasn't lost on me. Bobcat, mauled to death by bobcat, Hi. Yeah.
During the production of the movie, was there ever this temptation to actually have the Bigfoot on screen, or leave it all on screen in the audience imagination?
I kind of wanted it to be that way, where less is more. Boggy Creek, the Legend of Boggy Creek is, doesn't really have too much Bigfoot in it, and that stayed with me all my life. So that was the idea. And also, I think whenever I think that woman is more scary than if I had a dude in a suit at that moment. Someone said that this movie is some sort of, I don't know what it was. A modern, something about male ego fears or something. This is a review where they said it's everything that men fear: being shot down when they propose, seeing another man's nude body, and seeing a woman that looks like their mother naked. I'm so deep I don't even know it. I work on so many levels, man. Hi, anyone in the back? Because I keep going in the middle. Oh, okay, hi.
So the scene when you first come upon the big fat redneck in the woods, was that intentionally shot to show how potentially easy it is to come up with a supposed sighting picture? Because it seems like in that perspective of, it really looks like a Bigfoot at a relatively close line.
Yeah, then the guy, and then it's just a dude. Yeah, no, that was something that I realized after we made the movie that his silhouette, was pretty good, and so I actually darkened that. So I darkened it so he did look more like a silhouette. You're the only person to pick that out. I don't have a prize for you. Anybody I'm missing? Hi.
Do you think getting killed by Bigfoot is like donating your body to science?
Cliff?
We all have to go at one point or another, and I'm willing to take one for the team.
Wow, that's really?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't throw Bobo in front of you?
No way, I'd fight him for the chance.
Really? Oh.
Totally, be taken down by some bilf. A Bigfoot I'd like to find, please.
Get your head out of the gutters. Hi, way over there. Hi.
I was curious how big your crew was when you were shooting this, and what your budget was approximately.
Budget was mostly gas. It was all in with the actors and the crew. There's 7 of us. That guy, obviously, the large guy, there's a couple people are fake, if I'll ruin it, but I think you can figure it out. Like the guy who says his dog was ripped apart's fake, and the guy we find, and the ukulele player was just one of the PAs. But everybody else is real. I use consumer-grade cameras on purpose. We could have shot it like on 70 or 5D, had it look a little better, but I also wanted the actors to be comfortable dropping the camera and dragging it along. I had 2 cameras, and I even told Bryce, I said, break this camera in this take, and he still couldn't break it. So that was that shot at the end, which I think is funny. All of a sudden the camera pops up and it shoots the moon for a second, and it was just, you couldn't have. Yeah, Laszlo Kovacs couldn't have shot that. So it was consumer grade. It was down and dirty. I think that's another thing. I think I think some folks, and now I'm sounding like a pretentious twat, but I think some folks make found footage movies because it's what's available to them to make. But not that I have an endless budget. You know, if you've seen my other movies, my movies make hundreds of dollars, is what I'm trying to say. But I probably could have mustered up a little bit more of a budget, but I really did feel that this story lended itself to the thing. I was there's like you know, like all beliefs, I'll say, there's a lot of infighting, and there was I was at a conference and a guy had a cardboard cutout of a pointy-headed Sasquatch, and he looked like he was in the Coneheads, you know, and that's Spielberg, man. That's not what Sasquatch looks like. So this guy goes over to this other guy who's got this cardboard cutout, and he goes, "You disgust me." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Look at that head." And he goes, "Really? I've seen him 3 times, and you're never going to see him because you smoke." Now, where do you side on that? Do you think Bigfoot doesn't like tobacco?
Oh, I don't know about that. Just welcome to my world, man. A bunch of infighting about nothing at all.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really, so that was why I was thinking about doing a Christopher Guest kind of movie, you know, because I was like, wow, these dudes are writing it for me. But I went with the scary found footage. Because I like scaring people because, you know, a lot of filmmakers that I really admire can do these long scenes where there's suspense, you know, you're really scared, but nothing really is going on. So that was part of the interest in this. And I think the movie Grizzly Man actually influenced this movie a lot too for me. We're talking about Burn Grizzly. Hi. Do you mean the movies that I make in the future? I don't know. He's asking like the movies I have elements of dark comedy, and then they're set in somewhat of a real world. This is probably even more real than the other ones, you know. But in a weird way, I kind of think it truly, and it's not me having a pity party. I'm really happy that I get to make movies, but I think it's probably a little harder to sell my movies because of that. And it's who I am. It's my style, and I'll keep making movies with those elements. But you can't go to Fox Searchlight and say, "Hey, we got Robin Williams, great," and his son dies jerking off. No, it's a comedy. So I think it doesn't really, you know, I'll be so huge when I'm dead. But right now I'm 51 and I rent. No. I hope if I can keep making movies, I hope I get to interject my humor in all of them because again, filmmakers that I really like will do really dark stuff, but you're still laughing, you know, like Casino. I laugh a lot through that. And Goodfellas, and you know. Shakes the Clown, another. I think if I was going to do Shakes again, I think Shakes would have died. Like I think, I just thought I missed an opportunity. It would have been funny to have him hang himself in a clown.
Sounds funny.
Any questions for Cliff?
Good.
There we go.
Yeah. Have you seen Bigfoot in Oregon?
No, I saw one in North Carolina. I've heard them a lot in Oregon, but I've yet to lay my eyes on one. Yeah.
Oh, for Cliff, did you ever find out who did the Sasquatch look-alike out on Ross Island a number of years ago?
No, I've heard some stories about it, but I don't know anything about it. There's another local rumor as well down in Silver Falls State Park that supposedly there's a Sasquatch footprint in the cement somewhere. So if any of y'all know where that is, I'd love to hear about it.
Did I ever tell you the John Landis thing?
I don't know.
Okay, so there's one of the rumors is in the Patterson footage that John Landis is in a suit.
John Chambers? The guy-
Yeah, because John Chambers
Right.
and Landis knew each other. John Chambers is the guy in Argo who John Goodman plays, who did Planet of the Apes and stuff. But, so I got a hair up my ass. I was going to get to the bottom of this story, and I was going to use all that Hollywood heat I have. And so I sent my agent an email. I said, hey, I got this TV show I want to pitch John Landis. And that's a lie. And they got me his email immediately. They're really excited that I wanted to do something commercial. So I wrote John Landis. I said, I'm writing an article for a magazine. All right, that's a lie too. But I said, there's a rumor that you were in a Bigfoot suit in the Patterson-Gimlin footage. You know, would you like to? You know, I'd like to hear your side of it. And 5 minutes, bing, email John Landis. Who are you writing an article for? I am most certainly not in a Bigfoot suit in the Patterson-Gimlin footage. How did you get my email? That's my encounter with John Landis. I said, oh, maybe you were in the gorilla suit in the movie Schlock when you directed that. So then I calmed him down but they're taking him for the team. So yeah, so Landis says he's not in it, but and Chambers made a Bigfoot, but it looks who's Jaws in the Bond films? Richard Keel. Richard Keel. Yeah, it's this big weird thing that doesn't look like the Patterson suit. Anything else? Hi.
Well, so for the uninitiated like me, what are the theories as to what Bigfoot is? Is it an ape or some other kind of animal? What is it?
We only have a few moments here, but you know what? Ape and human is a gradient. On one side are gibbons, on one side are humans, and all the other extant, the known apes, are somewhere in between. Sasquatches just happen to be the most human-like ape. They might be relatives of Gigantopithecus blacki, which is a known specimen, a known species that lived in China and India and basically Southeast Asia. We think they died out about 200,000 to 300,000 years ago. Don't really know. Until more is learned about Sasquatches, we're not going to know what they are. But one thing you can take to the bank is that they actually are real. They do live here. They're part of the local ecology. They're as real as bears. You know, people say, do you believe in Bigfoot? And I say, well, I don't believe in your dog. And they usually, what do you mean? So, well, I've seen Bigfoot. You know, have you seen your dog, right? Like, why would you even ask that? You know?
Well,
I've seen a lot of crap in my life, and I don't bother with most of it. And I'm not going to bother with Bigfoot scat until someone who I know and trust, or at least I believe the witness, sees that shit come out of the animal itself.
yeah, that's probably a good idea.
The last thing I want is a bunch of shit coming to me in the mail, you know, like soggy bags, like my mailman would hate me and there'd be
I found
problems.
some poo. Sometimes people go, Bobcat, you're an atheist, but you believe in Bigfoot. It's like, well, I know people who've seen Bigfoot. How about just one more? Oh, here, a woman. Thank you. Hi.
Was it an intentional decision to not harm? I'm from Alaska. I mean, I never fired a gun on terrible Alaska, but I just carry berries. And you're saying that you like bears. Was there any reason why you didn't?
Well, we didn't, so we were foolish as they were. Do you think Robert had something on him?
No, I don't think so. And I mean, I go out all the time. In fact, I do a lot of bigfooting out here alone, honestly. And I don't bring anything out. But if you reflect back on that statement I said earlier, like that's kind of how I want to go. So.
Well, she's asking about a gun. So Robert didn't have one because after we saw the mountain lion, he's a ranger. I thought he had a gun, so I was just sitting next to him for the rest of the night.
I'm not so sure if he has a gun or not. He might be like one of those Barney Fife things, you know, where you get one bullet.
Well, he's a character because about 3 a.m. he goes, says, I'm a writer too. I go, oh really? What do you write? He goes, well, you know Twilight. Sure, we all know Twilight. He goes, I write coming of age stories for tweens set in the Bigfoot world. Oh, what's the name of your book? He says, Yeti or Not. It's available on eBay, by the way, Yeti or Not.
And you can see why we want that guy to have a gun.
Yeah, it's probably good we didn't have a gun. But, you know, I always say the worst time out looking for Bigfoot is camping. So it's really not that bad of a thing. And don't be scared. I'll end on this. And thank you all for getting, and thanks to Hollywood Theater. It's really been one of my favorite screenings we've had of this movie. Still go camping, because when you're in a tent, just remember there's about 1/16 of cloth protecting you from whatever's out there. Why do we think we're safe in a bag? We're making it easier.
And if you do see a Bigfoot, find me. I'm local. I live in Park Rose. Cliff Bigfoot, you'll find me. It's easy. Okay.
Thank you so much.